Will love conquer hate in this cult classic? Classic Movies by Judy Dungey. The Night Hunter, 1955. Directed by Charles Lawton. Stars Robert Mitchum, Shelley Winters, Billy Chapin, Lillian Gish. From the novel by Davis Grubb.
This was Charles Lawton's first and only directorial effort. You know him from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, amongst other triumphs. This film, however, was a failure at the time of its release, and it is said that is why Lawton refused to direct again. Modern critics decry this loss to the cinematic arts, but I must say that this attempt to fuse German Impressionism and old-world silent film aesthetics into a mid-century thriller is just plain peculiar. Don't get me wrong, The Night of the Hunter is visually stunning. It's also deeply disturbing and most unsettling, but there were moments of utter melodrama, and at times I was not sure if it was meant to be a black comedy. The tone of the more outrageous moments was offset by the non-threatening light music. Similarly, throughout the film, the usual cues of danger and menace were camouflaged by deceptively bland action or dialogue. Robert Mitchum plays a self-appointed preacher, Harry Powell, based on David Grubb's novel about the real-life serial killer Harry Powers, who travels through the Depression-era West Virginia marrying and murdering widows. His role as a preacher gives him automatic entrance into the homes of the poverty-stricken Virginians wherever he goes. His set piece is to display his tattooed knuckles, one spelling out hate and the other love, which allow him to segue the conversation into monologue about the triumph of good over evil. And now we know what the theme of the entire movie will be. Creepy Harry lands in jail over a stolen car and finds himself sharing a cell with a bank robber, Ben Harper, Peter Graves, who mumbles in his sleep about the location of his stolen loot being kept hidden by his family. Because Ben killed 2 men during the hold-up, he is executed. Upon Harry Powell's release, he makes a beeline for Ben's widow in hopes, he says, of putting the missing $10,000 to good use by building a church. Harry soon seduces the simple townsfolk in Ben's hometown. His shadow looms over Ben's children, John, Billy Chapin, and Pearl, Sally Jane Bruce, as he stands outside their house, staring in the window and singing his signature hymn, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, a sound John and Pearl soon begin to dread. With the help and encouragement of the townspeople, Ben's widow, Willa, Shelley Winters, also falls under the preacher's spell, and soon the two are married, much to John's dismay. Before Ben died, he had made John promise that he would always look after Pearl and never reveal the whereabouts of the money. Harry realizes Willa knows nothing and turns his attention to the kids, particularly little Pearl. John pleads with his mother that Harry is not what he seems, but neither she nor any of the townspeople believe him, assuming that it is only just loyalty to their dead father that makes the children so opposed to Harry. Things turn nasty when Willa finally discovers the truth about Harry, and he murders her. Left alone under Harry's care, John and Pearl run away, and the most chilling part of the film begins. The kids sail down the river aimlessly on a small skiff, while Harry follows on horseback in relentless pursuit. Here Lawton pulls out all the stops, and the escape becomes a sound and visual dreamscape, populated by frogs, birds, and small things of the forest. The children float down the river to the soft sounds of the night, with nursery rhymes drifting them to sleep. One night, as they shelter in a hayshed, John awakens to the dread sound of leaning and sees silhouetted against the night sky the implacable figure of Harry Powell as he plods along in search of them. John mutters, "Does he ever sleep?" as the 2 fugitives drag themselves out of their hay beds and on into the night. They beg for food or go hungry until at last they meet Rachel Cooper, Lillian Gish, a good Christian woman who just happens to collect orphans. Rachel takes them in, and life begins to look up for the wretched children. Of course, it isn't long before Harry finds them. Now, good Rachel must tussle with evil Harry. The conflict is most clearly demonstrated when Rachel holds Harry at bay with a shotgun, and Harry sits, waiting for her to fall asleep. He begins to sing his song, which is laden with threat, until Rachel spikes his gun by joining in the chorus, and the hymn takes on an utterly different meaning. All this, in the hands of someone like Hitchcock, would be the basis of a suspenseful thriller, think Cape Fear. But in the hands of Lawton, the almost surreal landscape and dreamlike or nightmarish quality of the characters and illusory storyline turns the largely predictable plot into something else entirely. The film has now, 55 years later, gone down as a masterpiece of American cinema and one of the most chilling and theatrical films of the 20th century. I just found it weird.
The Night of the Hunter is available to watch by rent or subscription on Amazon Prime, or to rent from Google Play, Apple TV, or YouTube. This article was read by Rebecca Rose,
Sandy Miller.